Good morning, everybody, and what a fantastic room full of energetic, exciting innovators. So I just wanted to start by asking everybody who's associated with the network put their hand up. Right? Fantastic. And everybody who would consider themselves an innovator, and they might be the same person. Wow. Okay, fine. So we've got a lot of energy here today. And my name's Laura Sands, and I chair the Energy Networks Innovation Task Force. And what is this trying to do? It is commissioned by Ofgem, Innovate, and supported by the Energy Systems Catapult. And what we're trying to do is to, in many ways, move the dial on innovation going forward. I think some of the challenges that have been posed to certainly the SIF process and NIA has been, some of it's been incremental. Some of it has, in many ways, addressed things that we would consider potentially business as usual. And some of it hasn't really looked at, in many ways, changing the paradigm. So I have been asked to chair this task force to deliver challenges. We are not a task force that's there to give solutions. You guys are all part of the solution part of it. But we wanted to change, in some ways, how you look at the future. The other thing about the challenges that we're going to be presenting in May, we'll be launching, is that they're not going to be that they couldn't fit into the Rio 3 process. So they're not price control innovations, they are beyond that. And our framing of this is the 2040s. So throughout the 2030s, we need to have game changers. And these game changers are really going to be shaped around what is happening around us. I love the energy sector, but sometimes we think that we exist because God put us on this earth. To be frank, we are actually here to serve the customers, to serve the economy, and to deliver a clean and secure energy service. So these are some of the framings that we have about why am I in the 1900s, my God, in the 2040s. Currently, actually today, there is £3 billion worth of industrial investment sitting in connection queues. Talking about growth, that's jobs, factories, that's not batteries, and that is sitting in connection queues today. But by the end of the 2030s, we'll have 71% increase in industrial demand for decarbonised energy, and this is not just electricity. This is looking at a decarbonised system right across the board. So it is about cross-vector. 17 times more EVs on the road. We will have an annual curtailment cost of $3 billion. That's not going to be sustainable. So we're going to have to address it. And one of the things that's very interesting, I don't know what people know about the States, but in the US, people think that the biggest consumer of energy is data centers. Well, it isn't. It's air conditioning. And how are we as a sector going to respond to a residential home that wants to put in 20 air conditioning units to keep their elderly residents cool in the summer? We are not going to be able to say no. So we need a very different attitude around how we respond to our customers' needs, and it's not going to be good enough just to say, well, wait a few years and then you can plug in. So we have a lot of very, very interesting dynamics, and they're coming thick and fast. We talk about 14% of cars could be highly autonomous. Actually, I think that's totally underestimating it, and we're already getting autonomous cars in London at the moment. So just think the speed of change. So what is our purpose here of the task force? As I say, we're here to frame the challenges, not the solutions. But we have some very, very clear sort of principles. Number one is customers. As I say, we are a service sector. We are not here for our own right. We need to listen to our customers, understand them, and this will be much, much more of a theme right the way through these challenges. And if there are, so can I just ask, are there any energy customers here? Well, I know you're all customers, but I'm just saying an industrial or a commercial customer, right? So next time we have a meeting like this, we need a lot more customers to help shape what this system needs to look like. And we will be putting customers right at the forefront of our challenges, right? Growth. What is growth? Well, we are there to unlock growth. And again, as networks, we're going to have to watch out about the politics, guys. Because if we are seen as a blocker for growth, we are going to come under fire. So we need to really lean into this. Obviously, cost and efficiency, obviously, decarbonisation. Whole systems partnership, this is really important and will be a very strong criteria for the innovation challenges. Firstly, we want to see a lot of cross-vector solutions. We want gas and electricity networks, transmission and distribution to work very closely together and to come up with common challenges or common sets of solutions so that we look at the energy system as one. If I'm a customer, let's say I'm a data center, I want to know whether I'm going to get the energy to power my data center. Do I really care at this moment? Well, of course they should care about their decarbonisation issue, but actually what I need is a gas network connection and an electricity network connection. Do I want to navigate the different timescales that you're all, so well, you know, the electricity will take 3.5 years and the gas can be 18 months. I need solutions. And so we're looking at partnerships across vector, but absolutely, really crucially, we're talking about the comms network. How many people are talking to communications companies, to BT, to Vodafone, etc.? Because actually what we are is we're interdependent and we're looking for ambition. So our task force missions, there's going to be up to about £800 million over 5 years invested in this. We're looking at 5 moonshots and 14 smaller challenges. Those 5 moonshots, actually, we don't necessarily expect some of them to be successful. We're looking for really pushing boundaries and, may I say, although don't ever quote me, failure as well, because we might learn something from a bit of failure. These are our 3 key outcomes: growth, customers, and decarbonisation. And so we've been looking at some of these areas, fast, seamless connections, although some of that, I think, will end up in the price control. More adaptable and faster build networks. Really exciting stuff is going on, and I'll come on to that. World-leading grid operation, and that, again, is not about one vector. This is about gas, electricity working together and real optimization of every electron and every molecule. Simplifying customer journeys. I talk about data centers, but if you look right across the board, you look at the different types of customers. Are these the customers who are the house builders? Is the customer Henry the Hoover? They want to expand down in Somerset, and they're finding it really difficult because of connections. So how are we looking at our customer journey and simplifying it, and not expecting customers to wrap themselves around the energy sector, but for them to be our solutions shaped around them? And then resilience. And we've got quite a few areas of that, and I've been talking to Ukraine in quite a lot of detail around how they have moved forward. So these are potential examples. Instant customer connections. This is what we should be aiming for. That's what we have in lots of other sectors. We're looking at a challenge which would be totally decentralized bottom-up system design, and then again, that's cross-vector. Resilience, and we'll come on to that in a little bit more detail. But anyway, isolate and self-heal networks. Why are we not using much more robotics, autonomous systems? And halving network construction times. We've been talking a lot, I've been talking in India about how they're doing modularization, Lego assembly, then also very much importantly looking at the maintenance side. And with our air conditioning units, all sorts of other pieces of equipment, the IKEA balcony, solar panel, zero-touch domestic connections. These aren't the end results. This is just the outline of where we, of what we're looking at the moment. And you guys have all been really, really brilliant. So I want to thank you all for being involved in the working groups. And what can we learn from others? We've got to understand that the rate of growth, it's not going to be it's not going to be an easy, smooth line. We're going to end up with lots of peaks of demand growth. Estonia does the most fantastic customer service. We should learn from them. This is on the modular build. In China, an 11-story apartment was assembled in 28 hours and 45 minutes. Are we understanding what we can look at? And Ukraine made fundamental operations and regulatory changes in weeks. And we're definitely looking at very, very different approaches to regulation. So just to finish off, we're looking at the world between 2030 and 2040. Every single challenge is about beyond energy. It is about what you're doing for society, for your customers, and for the economy, not necessarily internally looking at our own problems. We need to accelerate, and collaboration with customers, cross-vector, absolutely understanding all the different actors. Again, how many people talk to the air conditioning manufacturers about smart system design? I've never met white goods manufacturers as much in these sorts of fora. I mean, I know that you've got lots of members in that space, but actually it's about us collaborating beyond. We will be looking for moonshot thinking, and nothing is off the table. That includes regulatory change, it includes policy change, it includes new partnerships and new worlds out there. So we hope in May that you'll be excited by the challenges. I say to you, it is about you coming up with the solutions. We need you all to work together, and we look forward to a really exciting, innovative future. Thank you very much indeed.